Hey guys, Chart Stoppers back with another video. In this channel, we take a look at different stocks and map out their key support and resistance areas on their chart. It's important that you know these areas before you buy any stock, and it's also important to know what kind of a trend a stock is in before you buy into it. Support and resistance is one of the most important things you should know about a stock before you either buy or sell. And also, if you're doing any day trading, swing trading, or options trading, you're definitely going to want to get familiar with support and resistance. Now, just to let you know, I am not a financial expert. These videos are for educational purposes only, but I am here to point out key factors on the charts which do impact the price action of a stock. I also provided a link in the description for Webull. You could use it to start an account and you'll get 2 free stocks. And I also provided a link for Robinhood. You could use that to start an account and get 1 free stock. And just to let you know, I will be doing 3 videos per week on 3 different stocks. So if you have a recommendation for a video, leave a comment below and I will try to get to it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and have your notifications on so you don't miss out on any new content here. Okay, so today is July 25th, 2021, and it is Sunday. You could see that the market closed, the S&P on Friday was up a little over 1%. The Dow Jones closed over 0.5% up, and the NASDAQ also closed up a little over 1%. So all in all, a good end of the week last week, and we'll see if we can continue that momentum into this week and have a nice green week for everybody. Okay, so let's get into the stock I want to take a look at today. Today I wanted to go over AMC. I've never done a video on this one before, so this will be the first time that I'm breaking down this chart here. But if you want, you could go back, check out my other videos on a bunch of different stocks. Just check out my YouTube page, and you'll see all my videos on there. Okay, so on Friday, AMC finished the day around at $36 and about 99 cents. Okay, it was down 25%, which was the equivalent of 0.67%. In after hours, it was down another 9% or 9 cents, which was the equivalent of about 0.25% here. Okay, and in the past week, this stock is up over 12%. So a pretty good week, the past week for this stock. But in the past month here, this thing is down over 35%. So the past month has been killer for this stock and all the people that hold it. All right, but in the past 3 months, it is still up almost 250% here. All right, and in the past year, we're still up over 820%. So, you know, if you bought this stock anywhere, even around May, okay, if you bought in just in May of this year, a couple months ago, you're up big. All right, still. But, you know, if you bought in around here when it was running up to the high of $72.62, that was the 52-week high, and we hit that on June 2nd. Okay, if you bought in on this run up here, you know, you've been losing a little bit of money. If you bought in between these two support areas around 51.39 is where I saw support from the highs here. You know, you're down right now, but there's no telling which way this stock is going to go because it looks like it's either going to go one of 2 ways. It's going to go back up and stay in this area, or it's on its way back down to these areas down here around $20 to around $15 where support is right here. Okay, so let's look at my chart here. You could see that I have my high resistance right here around $62.70. That's the close of this candle right here. You can see this big green candle, and we closed that day at around $62.55. So we're going to need to see this thing close above this area and hold, because we never were able to close above that area. You could see we tried to retest it after it made this high of $72 up here. But every time it would get up to that area, it would sell back off. So we need to get back up here, close, and hold if we want to see this thing move on to a new high, okay? But as you could see, you know, like I said, once it did start selling off from those all-time highs, you could see we did have support around $51 and about 40 cents, give or take a few cents here. You could see a lot of buyers were coming in. After this big drop, it did recover, and then it did consolidate a little bit along that support there. You could see all the wicks on these candles on the bottom of them. Those are the buyers coming in and pushing the price back higher once it gets to this support area right here at about 51.40 right there. All right. Now, eventually we did lose that support as the buyers got, worn out and the sellers kept pushing it down. And we dropped to a new support level of around $38 and let's say 40 cents, give or take a few cents here. You could see that's where it tried to hold, or that's where it bounced right around here when we had the big sell-off after the initial highs. It bounced around that area of support, and then right here, when it did start selling off, we did have a lot of buyers come in and push it higher from that area, and you could see it's trying to make its way back above there now. That's about where the 50-day moving average is. But we couldn't quite close above there on Friday. So we'll be watching this week if we could get back above this support area and hold. All right. Now, right now, this past week or two here, we did drop to our lower support area right here around $31.80. You could see when the initial big sell-off came after the run-up to the highs here, we found a nice support at that area around $31.80 here. You could see it did bottom out and then try to recover back up only to get pushed down below this resistance now right here, which was former support around 38.40. Now you'll see on my chart here a green trend line, which is our uptrend that we've been on. We saw a nice bounce off of that trend line here on July 19th, and we did make a nice little recovery off of that, and now we are falling back down. As you can see, these three red candles, it looks like we're in a little bit of a downtrend these past 3 days, and you can see it is getting close to that trend line again. So I'll be expecting another bounce off of this trend line if it does get that low. Otherwise, on Monday, if you see a green day, that might be the bounce getting towards that trend line that we're looking for, and we'll see what happens from there. But I also have a red trend line, which represents our downtrend that we've been on since around the middle of June here, when it did start selling off heavily here. And you could see that red trend line has been acting as resistance as we have two bounces off of this trend line, and the stock sells off every time it hits that trend line. You could see we hit it right here at the end of June, and we also hit it right here in the middle of July there. And my downtrend line, this red line here, is pretty much following my 21-day moving average on my daily chart here. My 21-day moving average is the highlighted one that I just highlighted right here in the light blue. This line, you could see that every time it gets up to that 21-day moving average, it looks like that it is starting to sell off around that area. So we'll keep an eye on that. We're going to need to get back above that 21-day moving average if we want to see this thing move back up. Okay, I also have my 30-day moving average here in the green that I highlighted. And my 50-day moving average is this blue line right here. And you could see that's also acting as a little bit of resistance here as we're, moving up. Okay, and my 200 is down here. But I wanted to point out our 8-day moving average is also acting as resistance as this stock keeps moving lower. You could see we tried to break above there for a couple days. We were able to hold on this day. But on Friday, we did drop below and close below our 50-day moving average, or our 8-day moving average here in the white, okay? So we'll keep an eye on that for next week. We're going to need to get above that 8-day moving average first if we want to move on to our 21-day moving average next on this daily chart. All right, so keep an eye on this trend line. These things are going to cross soon. It looks like I have them crossing around August 4th here. You could see they intersect. So by August 4th, the stock is going to have to pick one of two ways it wants to go. It's either going to have to break out of this downtrend and continue following our green uptrend line, or it is going to have to break our green trend line and continue following our red line down. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on that this week. Hopefully it'll show us which way it wants to go. All right, now let's take a look at our weekly chart here, see what we could find here. And it looks like we are trading above all of our moving averages except for our 8-day moving average on our weekly chart, which is here in the white. Okay, so not much we could see on our weekly chart. You could see the nice bounces off of our downtrend line, for these past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks here. We've been, stuck under this red line as it keeps bouncing off and selling off every time it hits that red line. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on that. Very important that we need to break above this red line if we want to move back up. Okay, so I'm going to switch back over to our 4-hour chart, see what's going on here, and let me turn off my extended hours here. And you could see our 4-hour chart, we are trading above our 200-day moving average, but we're below the 50-day, 30-day, 21-day, and we are now below our 8-day here. So you could see, how my trend line follows my moving averages here. That's how you know you have a pretty good trend line there. You could see how closely it follows this 50-day moving average on our 4-hour chart, and how important it is to break through this trend line here and get back above there if we want to see higher prices for this stock. Otherwise, it's going to continue to follow that. These moving averages are going to keep acting as resistance, and it's going to drive the stock price lower here. All right, so we'll keep an eye on these moving averages for next week. I'm going to switch back over to our daily chart and see what else we could find. And you could see I did draw another support line around $14.50 down here. That's where it looked like we had some resistance on the way up. Okay, but hopefully it doesn't come down to this area here, because as you could see on the way up, it did not really consolidate right here on its way up. And that's why you're seeing this thing come back down to fill in some of these gaps it left behind and consolidate in some areas that it did not consolidate on the way up. So if we could just hold our support here around 31.80, I think we'll be fine. But this week will really show us which way it wants to go, as we are getting close to this intersection of these trend lines. Okay, so that's about all I have to say about this one. If you guys like the video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and have your notifications on so you don't miss out on any new content like this. Also, if you want, go to my YouTube page, check out my old videos on different stocks. And I want to thank you guys for watching. We will see you next time on Chart Stoppers.